Shanann Watts and her two daughters, 3-year-old Celeste and 4-year-old Bella, vanished on Monday. Their startling disappearance triggering a statewide alert as police and the FBI focus on her home outside Denver, where she was last seen.
And the viciousness of the crime. And equally aggravating in this court's determination is the despicable act of disposing of the bodies in the manner in which they were done in this case. I've been a judicial officer now for starting my 17th year, and I could objectively say that this is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen.
Welcome, guys. I don't believe a lot of officials that speak on the Watts case as to what they have to say, but I certainly do believe that judge when he says that this is the most, vicious and senseless crime that he has handled in the, however many years or cases that he has worked on as an attorney and then a judge, because this is an absolutely horrific case. So let me first say hello. Let me just do an audio check first. Anaflex, this is my audio, okay? Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Watts the Obsession True Crime. And tonight it is Watts the Obsession Friday night date night. And we are going to talk about the Watts case. I picked this topic because the last time we all got together and had a live stream talking about the Watts case, this topic just came up, as it often does. There is a lot of curiosity about MLMs in general for people that haven't been part of them or for people that are part of them. There's curiosity about what's like other people's experience like. Is it as weird as mine was or as good as mine was or whatever your experience is like? And then also, as we look at the Watts case, with all of Shanann Watts' Facebook videos that she posted, her live streams, a lot of them were for the purpose of selling, specifically one or some products for one of the many MLMs that she was involved in. And that product is Thrive by the company Lavelle. And her involvement in MLMs, the family's involvement in MLMs, especially as it relates to the financial troubles that the couple endured in the second bankruptcy that they were heading towards before this horrible tragedy occurred. The MLM piece is kind of it's sort of like an elephant in the corner, right? Like you can pretend it's not part of the story if you don't want to address those dynamics and, whatever may come up in conversation as a result of addressing it, but it's still there, baby. It's still there. So it's, kind of a popular topic on this channel. I am going to change course a little bit from what I was originally going to do. And this evening on Friday night, I'm going to do another live stream tomorrow night, Saturday night, and we're going to get really in depth into Thrive and Shanann's involvement in Thrive and what that meant in the financial details. I was going to do some of that this evening, but I'm just going to be really honest with you guys. I had a really long week and I got a little headache and I'm like, I've got a lot of information to share with you. And I feel like I'd rather do that when I don't have such a bad headache and I'm not so tired. So we're going to do all that tomorrow night. But what we're going to do tonight is just kind of look at the history of Shanann Watts in MLMs, just start to scratch the surface of her involvement in Thrive and Chris's involvement in Thrive, right? He was selling Thrive too, air quotes, kind of. And, kind of what that looked like as far as the family dynamic meant and what that meant for the family. Then we'll hit the financial stuff tomorrow night. So let me just say welcome to everybody. As people are coming in, please do hit like and share the link if you can. I did post this live stream pretty late tonight, but I'm glad you guys are here. It's wonderful to see you. And I see some new faces. That's awesome. Hey, Crafted Evidence Podcast. Oh, so after this live stream, Crafted Evidence put up some Watts content that you guys might be interested in. I'll tell you about that later. So look forward to that. Hey, Carolina, welcome. How are you doing? Hey, Anaphylaxis, thank you so much for everyone, for everything, for everyone and everything. Anaphylaxis, you've done it all. Hey, Cuff You, how are you doing? Cuff You, I made a chart that shows where the bankruptcy was in the chronological continuum of Shanann Watts' involvement in various MLMs. I think she was involved in 9. So I'll bring that up for you, Cuff You. I anticipated your question. I give you guys what you want. Hey, Shay, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here. Hey, Roxana, nice to see you. Welcome. Hey, Kaylee. Oh, Kaylee says, hello, body. As Cece says for everybody, right? When she's like, say hi, everybody. She says, hi, body. Yes, they're so freaking cute. Oh my gosh. Jessica Eversoul says, I'm so glad to be here. Love you, Kelly. Well, love you back. And I'm glad that you're here, Jessica. Welcome. Hey, Leslie Harris, how are you doing? Welcome. It's really nice to see you. And hey, Carrie B, how are you doing? Carrie B says, MLM use glitz and glamour to hook folks in. Yes, they totally do, Carrie. That's such a true statement, in my opinion. Hey, C. Curry, right? How are you doing? Welcome. It's great to see you. I'm so happy you're back. And let's see, I know that Honey Bun is here and Amanda Hughes. Welcome. How are you doing? Honey Bun, I didn't mean to blow you over. You're super important, but I've already talked to you today a few times. And Pepper, welcome. How are you doing, my friend? I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you for everything you do to support the channel. Hey, Nikki Hatfield, welcome. How are you guys doing? All right. So the first thing I'm going to bring into the stream is it's just a little bit from the most recent MLM video that I made about this case. Now, this video, I'm just going to be like, just honest about how this video was received. It was received very well by you guys who watched it. I got a lot of good feedback about it. And I am like, don't feel weird about saying that because I worked my butt off to research this video and to get the footage and to get all the information right. So I'm going to put the link to this video in the description. So if you haven't seen the whole video and you do want to watch it, you'll be able to watch it. But I'm just going to play a few minutes from the beginning of this video that I had already created just to kind of explain a little bit about, my standing in talking about MLMs, the involvement I've had in MLMs. I did put a poll question up there. Have you been part of any MLMs? And I left that question kind of intentionally vague. I want to see how you guys answer it. And it'll also begin to address a few things about the Watts family dynamic and Shanann's involvement in specifically Thrive and other MLMs. And then I'll get to some comments, okay? Let's see. Let me just see if I missed anyone. Hey, Tina McMichael, welcome. How are you doing? Hi, Donna Colvin, welcome. Milkshake Muncher, welcome. An MLM is multi-level marketing, it stands for. It's a multi-level marketing company. It's like your typical pyramid scheme. Like if you think of like Amway or even like Mary Kay. There's so many companies that are MLMs, but those are 2 that just are at the top of my head that a lot of people know of. All right, so let me bring this in. Oh, there it is. Okay. All righty, bring it back.
Welcome to Watsy Obsession, a channel that respects both victim families. We ask that you do the same in chat and in your comment.
Welcome or welcome back
darn
to
it. Just 1
Watsy
second, guys.
Obsession. This video is going to take a
Sorry about that, guys. Let me just bring that right back into the stream and we will get it started again. All right, here we go. So I told you wasn't on my A game. Well, that happens when I am on my A game. Not even in comment. Okay, here we go.
family, focusing on some specific dynamics that we as the general public are able to observe due to the amount of sharing that Shanann did on Facebook about her family for the purpose, for the most part, of promoting her MLM companies or multi-level marketing company efforts. She was involved in several, and we're going to talk about that. This case haunts so many people because when you look at Shanann and Chris, look at these beautiful wedding photos. They seem to have it all. They were absolutely picture perfect. They were a happy young couple, moved out to Frederick, Colorado, had their first daughter, Bella, and they were the perfect little family. Look how happy they all are together. Soon they added a second daughter, Cece.
That's Cece, Bella. Say Cece.
And the four of them seemed to be filled with joy, laughter, a little bit of chaos, but for the most part, they seemed to have it all. From the outside, they were the picture perfect family.
You guys are so silly. Okay, let's go to school.
If you are all familiar with the Watts case, you know how this story ended, and it ended with one of the most tragic endings the mind can possibly conjure up. Chris Watts, perhaps with the encouragement or help of another, annihilated his family, his pregnant wife Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. The clear and obvious question is, how did this family go from what they once were or what they appeared to be in the photographs to a family that had been annihilated, perhaps with the help of another or the encouragement of another, by this seemingly picture-perfect father, Chris Watts? And sadly, we will probably never know the complete answer to that question. And perhaps that is why so many people to this day are obsessed with this case, want to know more about what happened and why it happened. But what we can do is take a look at the family dynamics and the relationship dynamics outside of the family that existed in the Watts family while they were a cohesive family unit. And we can identify some things that happened during the time this family was a family that caused this family to go from being seemingly happy and filled with joy to filled with crisis, in a state of absolute crisis.
You're going to have the skeptics. You're going to have the naysayers.
Let's get this going. Let's get this show on the road and have a blast.
I just want to look hot for you. Right?
So I came out of my shell after with this product, and I blossomed. I became who I should be.
Black Label got me dancing in the kitchen while I'm cooking dinner.
Dancing in the kitchen, that my husband came downstairs at 5:30 in the morning and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I must be thriving."
Fact: the Watts family declared bankruptcy, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, on June 15th, 2015, and they were headed towards another bankruptcy when Chris Watts, alone, or perhaps with the help or encouragement of another, annihilated his family on August 13th, 2018. We know at the time of the tragedy, the Watts had negative pennies to their name, and their financial situation only worsened with time. Although many know the Watts were in dire financial straits, I don't believe we tend to understand what the second bankruptcy would have meant to the family's life and the kind of lifestyle they would have been able to afford after that second bankruptcy. The outcome of their first bankruptcy, Chapter 7, when they declared over $70,000 in unsecured debt and nearly $500,000 in total debt, allowed them to keep their vehicles and home as a provision of the automatic stay in Chapter 7 that prevents your home from foreclosing or your car from being repossessed. If the Watts declared bankruptcy in the latter months of 2018, and they no doubt would have had to do so, they were already several months behind in their mortgage and had no available credit remaining on their credit cards, they would have had to declare Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which does not simply dismiss the debt the way Chapter 7 does. They would have needed to go on a repayment plan to pay off their debt. But with what money? Under Chapter 13, the Watts could have potentially kept their home and vehicle, but it wasn't a guarantee. But even if they did keep those assets, how would they pay for them? They were already not able to afford them, and then they'd have this additional repayment fee every month. The financial and lifestyle future of the Watts family was looking bleak at best. And Shanann and Chris both knew it by the time August 13th, 2018 came around, regardless of how deep in denial and or delusion they each were separately for, well, a long time, at least a few years after they declared their first bankruptcy. This video is going to look at the factors that led to the Watts' dire financial situation, the Watts' financial situation over time. And spoiler alert, yes, MLMs were a huge contributor to the Watts' financial downfall. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're also going to talk about the factors that set up this kind of perfect storm, this sort of ideal situation for some crisis to happen. Now get this and get this good and get this straight. In no way, shape, or form is there any implication that Shanann Watts was at fault for the horrible, horrific tragedy that happened, for the death of herself, her unborn baby, or her two beautiful children. We are also going to be looking at the factors that caused Chris Watts, for the very first time, to realize the financial situation that he and his family were in, how horrible it was, and what the influences were that allowed him to finally come to that conclusion.
Okay, so prior to the newspaper, how did you know he was in financial difficulty?
Because when I went to that house, everything in there is very, 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 very nice. It looks like it all comes with a very expensive price tag. And I didn't say anything to him about it, but I could kind of tell then, where I was like just looking at everything like, how do you guys afford this? And then he has that car. I don't even know how much that car costs, but
What car is
that Lexus. I'm sure that thing costs like 80 grand, but just like money, like everything just looked like it costs a lot of money in that house.
You probably have a decent idea of how much money he makes.
Yeah, and it's not enough money to pay for all that, not even close.
Did you have any idea of what Shanann did for a living or how much money she might have made?
I mean, I had an idea. I would consider her like a sales rep. I don't know how else to describe that.
Chris Watts' mistress, Nicole Kessinger, always doing her best to belittle and degrade Shanann Watts. Let me fill in the details she didn't seem to know about Shanann, although she knew way too much about Shanann and about Chris and Shanann's relationship. She knew everything. She just didn't want to tell the investigator.
Lavelle, the company that rolled out the product line Thrive. Thrive is sold through a multi-level marketing structure that recruits people who can work from home. These people are called consultants, and the consultants sell the product for the company. The consultants use, well, in this day and age, their existing social media to look for people who are interested in this so-called business opportunity, and that's how they grow their network. So think about who you're connected to through social media. That's right. Consultants are recruiting their family, their friends, their coworkers, their acquaintances, people that they, run into while they're going about their business in their own life, or maybe in activities for their children. And they approach them with this so-called business opportunity. And this business opportunity in Lavelle is something that is sacred. It makes the people at the top all of their fortunes of money, when 98% of people, actually more than 98% of people who try their hand as a consultant in Lavelle completely fail, and generally speaking, lose a ton of money, just like Shanann Watts.
This is Addie Maloney, who supposedly now is a Lavelle Thrive millionaire who was Shanann's up line and is mentioned several times in the discovery as she was supposedly Shanann's friend as well. And she was speaking to Shanann in those weeks just before the tragedy happened about the downfalls in her marriage with Chris Watts and her suspicions of him cheating on her. Now, you know what? Whoops. I am going to keep playing a little more of this because there's some really good background material here. I just want to say something about Addie Maloney. So Addie Maloney was Shanann's up line, and she's going to be speaking right here. You may recognize her from the case or the discovery. Now, she is one of the few people who is a Thrive millionaire. All of the people who speak in this video are Thrive millionaires, okay? Now, something about Addie Maloney is we do know the history of Addie Maloney. She is the daughter of a famous musician. I'm not going to give any more information than that because it is the Watts case, and, you know, we don't want people getting, you know, I trust you guys, but who knows who's going to watch this video, right? She came from money. So she had money to invest into the MLM, into her business opportunity, so she could make money, air quotes. So I just wanted to say that before moving forward here.
I would take ignorance on fire over knowledge on ice any day.
Okay, this statement right here. And so another person that speaks in this video says something very similar. I would take ignorance on fire over knowledge on ice any day. Is that what she says? That is an inherently effed up statement, in my opinion. When you are talking about recruiting people to sell others products that they take, that they ingest into their body with the idea that this is going to improve their life, make them healthier, possibly rid them of diseases and ailments. They're going to put these patches on their skin that are not FDA or any otherwise approved, that, as we talked about in the last live stream, have 3 proprietary blends as ingredients in them. And the proprietary blend trademark or reserved copyright makes it so a company does not have to disclose specifically what the ingredients are in the force lean and I don't remember what the other ones are called. They're really weird names. So when you're recruiting people to sell products like that to someone, to say, I would take ignorance on fire over knowledge on ice any day, I think it's completely ignorant. Sorry, Addie, you seem like a nice person, but seriously, in those weeks just before the tragedy happened, about the downfalls in her marriage with Chris Watts and her suspicions of him cheating on her.
I would take ignorance on fire over knowledge on ice any day of the week. I think the best promoters are the ones that come in from the get, from day one.
So I want my salespeople who are selling these products that people are going to ingest and rely on for part of their health regimen and put these substances in their bodies. No one even knows what the fuck they are. Excuse my language. I would rather have people who have, or whose ignorance is on fire, rather than the knowledgeable people who reserve their knowledge and use discretion about it. Come on, girl. Addie Maloney, you can do better than that.
And just run. And they don't feel like they have to learn everything before they start reaching out. They're really just sharing. And that's what it comes down to, is just finding a way every single day to share your Thrive experience, share others. Actually, I think I have 3-way coming up.
And that business opportunity that Lavelle sells people who are promised that they too have an opportunity at making a fortune with Thrive through Lavelle is highly scripted and prescribed. Now, before we go into talking about exactly what is scripted and prescribed and show you some of the people who are doling it out, I want you to know that I myself was involved heavily in 3 MLMs. The first one I failed miserably at, lost a ton of money. The second one I kind of failed at and lost money. And the third one I went into with an understanding of how MLMs work. And I decided I was going to work the system. And I understood that the commission plan is heavily front loaded. I studied it. I decided how I was going to work it. I decided that I was going to have to completely quit the MLM at 9 months. The MLM I have disclosed at various times on this channel was Beauty Counter, and that's exactly what I did. And I made about $3,000. But if I didn't stop at that point, I too would have lost money and failed, just like nearly 99% of the people who try out MLMs.
Essentially, we've got this document that shows, if you're looking for things that are going to help you grow your business, daily activities and IPAs.
Let me just get some feedback from you guys. Have you guys seen this video already? Do you like it? Do you want me to keep going with it for a little while? I do want to answer Cuffy's question about where in the continuum, the chronological continuum of Shanann Watts' involvement with MLMs, where did their first bankruptcy fall and then where was the second? So I do have that charted out in here, like in a few minutes. Are you guys good with continuing to watch this? Or have you already seen it? Give me some feedback. Hey, Sherilyn, welcome. How are you doing? Sherilyn says, in my younger years, I was into rainbow sweepers, home interior, and candle light. I don't know if they're considered an MLM. I'm not familiar with that one, but it sounds like an MLM name. I'm going to look it up though, Sherilyn. Thanks for sharing. You haven't seen this one? Okay. Yes, keep going. Okay. All right, cool. I'll keep going then. All right. I just want to make sure y'all haven't seen it before.
Non-negotiables, things you have to accomplish, Facebook birthdays, write on somebody's wall, grow your network, connections on Facebook. These are just tasks that you can do if you need to know what to do, on Facebook. It's building relationships, making connections, follow-ups, and things like that with your business. Mindset, planning out your day. So it's just small tasks that actually really help.
So my easiest ones to do is to go to my birthdays. So if you go to Facebook and you go under events, click on birthdays. Happy birthday. I hope today you get lots of presents and a whole cake to yourself. Haha, LOL.
Now, I just want to say this woman here is talking about how every day she goes through all of her people on Facebook and she wishes them a happy birthday just with the objective of engaging them so she can give them a sales pitch to get them involved under her Selling Thrive so she can make more money off of them and ostensibly grow her business. Now, I just want to say we were watching this part of this video in a previous live stream, and there was someone in chat. I talked to her about it afterwards. She was really genuinely it like hurt her heart because she said, oh, she doesn't have like a lot of social connection like a lot of people, right? We're all kind of starving for, love and camaraderie and companionship and connection to people. And that she, felt special that, people took time out to say happy birthday to her on Facebook. And now she's just thinking like, oh my gosh, are they all just trying to get me to sign up for an MLM or use me for some other reason? And I just, it comes to mind whenever I hear this woman talking now, because it just sort of, to me, it's just a great story that illustrates the disingenuous nature of the interactions that these people are having with others as they are looking for potential recruits that they can tuck under them in the pyramid scheme, the MLM structure, so they can quote, air quote, grow their business, or so they can make money off of those people. You know what I'm saying?
Do you get to do anything super special to celebrate your big day? I end with a question. Guys, I copy and I paste that to everybody whose birthdays are today. And I end with a question because I want them to come back and talk to me. If it's a Thriver that's on there, I'm like, hey, go eat the whole cake. Have the whole cake to yourself and then take treat meal. So, but I always want you to post on their birthdays. People feel special about that. If you missed yesterday's birthdays, you can kind of do the same thing. Happy belated birthday. I hope you got lots of presents and a whole cake to yourself. Did you get to do anything super special to celebrate your big day? Since we did all those custom conscious comments, our algorithms are up now. Guess what we need to do? It's time to go share a Lavelle story. So go to the Lavelle page. I'm telling you, people will read these stories. They may not identify with you, but they may identify with somebody who's on here. And you need to be sharing a story every day. I really like to find a really good before and after picture. There we go. Is that even the same person? That's how she started her story. Smart. She asked a question. You can just save her pictures, which I like to do. And then I'm going to go just copy her verbiage. Go over to my Facebook page, put the picture in, copy and paste her verbiage, and post it. More people are going to.
Oh, hold on. I don't know why that's doing that, but just I want to say something anyway here. Just so you guys know, all of these people that are speaking right now, I think that they're all Lavelle millionaires, or so they say, or so is said. And I got all of this footage right off of the Lavelle Thrive official website. This is like official training material.
See it now that I spent all that time first getting all those algorithms in place.
Make new friends, positive daily habits, tell good stories, listen well. And the last one was enthusiasm. That is the cherry on top. Good Lord, don't be the person who says, I'm going to need to study this product a little bit more and get that under my belt before I start sharing.
Okay, going back to what Addie Maloney said, this woman annoys me the most out of any of them. Good Lord, don't be that person that says, I'm going to need to get a little more knowledge about that product under my belt before I start sharing. Well, I suggest maybe you should, since you're selling a product that people are putting into their system either by ingesting it, eating it, drinking it. By ingesting, I'm thinking of like swallowing a pill, or subdermally because they're putting those patches on their skin with those 3 proprietary blends that protect the company from having to disclose legally on the label what the hell the ingredients are in those 3 proprietary blends. It could be crack.
If you hear somebody say that, just repeat. Enthusiasm will beat out knowledge every day.
Wait a minute. Just like what Addie Maloney said, enthusiasm will beat out knowledge every day. This disgusts me. What do you guys think about this? Let's see if there's any comments. Hi, Alexis. Alexis Ryder says, I need to get information about anything before I pay for it, let alone put it in my body. Amen, sister. Good for you. Keep doing that, as we should, right? My gosh. Yeah. Is that Sam Paisley? No, this isn't Sam Paisley. No. Oh yeah, no, no, Nicole. I just want to say this channel is a friend of Nick. I like Nicole Atkinson, and we support her here. So she's clearly not involved in the crime. So we just don't talk about that craziness on this channel. Thank you. It's craziness. But aren't these people selling a product that people are actually ingesting, or that sticker that they're putting on their skin that has chemicals that go into your body? But these leaders of Thrive Lavelle are suggesting you don't need to know about the products. Just be enthusiastic. Who cares if you know anything about the products or what's in them or how they might affect a person's health? Remember what Addie Maloney, Shanann's upline, said?
I would take ignorance on fire over knowledge on ice any day of the week. I think the best promoters are the ones that come in from day one and just run. And they don't feel like they have to learn everything before they start reaching out.
Good Lord, don't be the person who says, I'm going to need to study this product a little bit more and get that under my belt before I start sharing. If you hear somebody say that, just repeat. Enthusiasm will beat out knowledge every day. Right? I don't need to know what kind of cotton my jeans are made of, but if somebody tells me they're magic, I will click add to cart. If we share our stories about new products, so many times we get asked, like, what are the ingredients? How much of this is in there? And I think even as leaders, sometimes we think, well, okay, maybe we do need to know that. But the truth is our stories are what sells the product. So if Maria gets on Facebook and says this new DFT makes her feel incredible, or if Megan, drinks her shake and says, I finally get to, feel like my digestion is on point. That is what sells our products. It's the stories. It's not the ingredients. We don't need to know the science. We need to know the stories.
We don't need to know the science. We need to know the stories. We don't need to know about what we are recommending to people to ingest into their bodies or to put into their system through their skin straight into their blood system. We don't need to know anything about that. Remember how Chris Watts talked about the way that the duo burn patches affected him? Here's Chris Watts talking about how this pressure to sell and always be on social media, the way these Thrive leaders are prescribing, how it affected him, and also how those dual burn patches that the leaders of Thrive Lavelle say, yeah, you don't need to know what the ingredients are in the products we're selling, how they affected him.
Yeah. Like I watch videos of like cooking, you know, or she'd make like power balls or, you know, or like protein balls.
Yeah.
You just don't seem like you want to be in those videos.
No.
Like I feel like you were being forced to be in those videos. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it seemed like to me.
I hated being in hated. I mean, I did it because for her, because it was for her business and stuff. But like it was, I hated just being out for everybody to see. That's why like the whole like the gender reveal thing, I was just like, I didn't want it to be like some live Facebook video. I'm just like, no. Yeah. But like, I never wanted to be out there. But I know I'm like.
Well, even when we talk about this a lot, Tammy and I, even when it was, I think it was Florida on some Lavelle or Thrive thing. And she's like, here we are. And it's all expenses paid. And
I was like,
I remember looking at you and thinking like, he is not into this video right now.
No, you don't look into any of the videos, I'll be honest with you.
I wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember you talking about like she would even post stuff for you. Like, you're technically a salesman too of Lavelle, of Thrive.
Like she put me underneath her, not like anything, like any of my friends or stuff, like anything I do would help her.
Right.
So it was just, I would send her pictures. Like I should take a picture with your patch. I'm like, okay, send it to her, and then she'd make a post about it. She was like, I need to take more control over like your business and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what to talk about.
Right.
Like if I wanted to talk to somebody at the mall or at the pool or somebody about this, I just stumble all over my words and just like they'd be like, okay, bye. But no.
Yeah.
I'm not a salesman. Jesus. I mean, she could sell everything you're wearing back to you.
Right.
And you wouldn't even know it. Like, wait, I just paid.
Right.
Sure, I paid $20 for it. But yeah, those videos are not me. I did it just to support her. Like when she would always say, "Oh."
Could you tell her no? Could you say, "I don't want to be in that video," or is that an option?
Oh no. I mean, it's like she would have been like, "Oh, what? This is to help our family. This is for to help this and that." So I couldn't have told her no. I mean, it would have made her mad. I'd like no. I wouldn't even start that. It's because it's for the business. It's for the family. I was just going to try to help out wherever we can.
Right. Do you feel like a different person wearing those patches?
Especially like the duo, the burn. Like the Apple Watches. Like if you look on it, like when it tells you to exercise, it says I was exercising like all day. My heart rate was like up.
Oh.
Just from those patches.
Was it full of caffeine or what?
They just have something. They had something in them. I mean, the black label ones, the longer black ones, those had caffeine in them, but it never had that effect. I mean, the duo burn ones, the ones that are more of like the fat loss type, it felt like I was working out all day, even though I wasn't.
Oh, were you tired?
I mean, I know at some points, even Nikki said that, like, I'd fall asleep on the couch. On her couch while I was talking to her, and then like pick back up like I never knew I fell asleep. Which I don't know if it was like some insomnia thing or what. But, like I wasn't sleeping.
You had a lot going on then.
Yeah, but that was the only patches I really felt like a real big difference on, just because it felt like I was working out all day.
Mm-hmm. You don't feel like they changed your personality or anything like that, though? Or do you?
I don't really know. I know that I just felt different on those than any other batch. I feel like I could just go longer and longer each day. And I'm not sure like if that was probably a bad thing, because I don't think I was probably stating more.
Was it crack? Was it vitamins? We don't know, because Lavelle uses those 3 proprietary blends. So they just put that on the packaging rather than the ingredients that are in those 3 proprietary blends. Once again, I remark, it could be crack. It could be. We have no idea.
Hours a night.
Clearly, according to Chris Watt's statement, the Duo Burn Patch, that patch that the leaders of Lavelle don't really care about what's in that patch, and they tell their consultants, the consultants under them, that they don't really need to care about it either. You know, enthusiasm over knowledge. It certainly affected Chris Watts substantially, it sounds like. And I do want to let you know that in researching this case, I also tried the Thrive Lavelle experience and the Duo burn patches, and I had to stop wearing the Duo burn patch because there was this thermogenic effect that I did not want. I was always hot. It made me sweat. I just didn't feel well, so I had to stop using it. Also, Chris Watts talks about the pressure that Shanann was under to constantly be posting on Facebook about her life, the stories, is, you know, everyone was talking about the leaders that you just heard from, saying happy birthday to everybody that they're friends with, however many thousand that might be. And her encouraging Chris to be part of Lavelle and for him to be on camera. It impacted him in a negative way. And it certainly impacted their relationship in a negative way, as well as it impacted their family in a negative way. There is tons of evidence of this.
And that is just truth. Okay, I'm going to just take a few questions here. It's so funny. Whenever we talk about this, same questions come up, and they're great questions. They're important questions. They're questions, if you don't know the answer, you would naturally, of course, ask. I know Vicky asked at some point. Oh, I started the questions here. Vicky asked. She asked if Lavelle paid for Shanann's Lexus, and she said, "I'm pretty sure it was, but you have to stay at a certain level of sales for them to give you a monthly car allowance." Yeah, that's right. And we actually talked about that during the last live stream. Was that the members only one? Well, yeah, you have to stay at the 80. Is the 40 or 80K level? I can't remember, honestly, at this point. I might even be in this video, but I have a Watts MLM, Shanann Watts MLM playlist. It's definitely in there. Yeah, every single month, you have to hit this certain sales amount. And in the video, I break down exactly how you have to do it. It's not just that you sell, I think it's a 12K level. So you have to sell $12,000 a month worth of products. These can be products that you sell, that you purchase, that your customers, your direct customers purchase from you, or products that your downline sells. But as I talk about in the video, it has to be a very specific way. Like more than X percent, and I don't remember what the percent is, cannot be from your strong leg. Imagine you have 2 legs, a right and a left leg, in your downline in your pyramid scheme. Only a certain percentage of it can be from your stronger leg, because it is advantageous to the people at the top of that pyramid for you to strengthen all of your legs so you can funnel as much money straight up to the top of that pyramid as possible. They want everybody in the pyramid to do that. So that's why it's structured that way. So for you to get your car bonus every single month, and it's $800, and these cars that they are leasing, the Lavelle approved cars, they're Lexus, Audi. I can't remember what the other ones were. I don't. They're cars that very well, especially for someone with credit like Shanann and Chris, could be an $800 car payment a month. I think that's fucking crazy, but it's true. So if you don't make that $12,000 in sales that you sell yourself and your downline does, but in this certain formulation, you do not get that money, and you are stuck with your $800 or whatever car payment. So that is why somebody else asked, Shanann was buying all this stuff. That is why people who are consultants and MLMs end up buying so much of their own product, because there's all of these benefits for consultants that are attached to your sales dollars and your sales volumes. And to maintain these benefits, You have to make that money month over month. I have done it myself. I signed up my son, who was like 3, my father, my mother, my dead grandmother. I'm not kidding. All these people underneath me, you need a social security number. I don't know why some people let me have that, but they did. And I'm just telling you the truth. This is what people do. If you're going to be a consultant, you have to use your social security number. It's on the record. If you make over $600, I think it is, and any, from any revenue stream, it's taxable. Watts didn't pay taxes on this stuff. Chris Watts in his interviews like, oh, it's crazy. You don't have to pay taxes on that stuff. No, dumbass. You have to pay taxes on everything, Chris. Get your head out of the gutter in so many regards. But yeah, so there's that. So there's your answer to that, Vicky. Kristen says Shanann Watts herself said it didn't work right away and she shared it anyway. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she did say that. You're totally right. I don't agree. You're right, is what I meant to say. She did say that several times, several videos. Jessica says, I wondered if the ingredients in the bars and shake pack things were suitable for her daughters. No, they're not. They're all synthetic. There's nothing from Mother Nature in there. There's nothing you're going to find that grows in the field and is wholesome and good for you. I have all the packages. We can go over the ingredients if you want. I never would have fed them to my toddler. Never. Yeah. Let's see what else. And Alexis says, I totally forgot about this part of the case, but do we know how much Shanann actually made from selling this? So for those of you who weren't here in the very beginning, we're going to talk about this topic, do kind of a part 2 tomorrow night and go into the finances of it. Shanann made negative dollars. Shanann lost money by being involved in this, and I will show you the maths, and there was no profit. It's really sad.
Wants another sister or brother. What do you want? Do you want another brother or sister? Sister. You want another sister? As this one's flying off the couch? Sit down. Lord have mercy. Cece's going to give mommy a little mini heart attack. What do you think? Right, Cece? Say hi, Cece. Whoa, Cece. Whoa. Thank goodness for this.
And what is this? It is a Thrive patch that Shanann is showing the camera. Thank goodness for this. This allows me to stay calm and relax and deal with everything. In fact, a huge theme in Shanann's Facebook post when she was promoting Thrive was a day in the life of Cece. This kid is crazy. Thank good I have my patches so I can keep up with my 2 girls, especially Cece.
No. Do you guys see this? Save me. And they want another baby. Whoa! Kid, you're so silly. Lovely day in the life of Cece. Mommy's got her black label on. Mama's not playing. Cece. Bella, honey, stop pushing your sister right now, or you're going to bed. Bella. I'll get it from her. Stop. I'll get it from her. She's off. And she's out. Where is she? Ooh, there she goes. Bella, cut it out. I'll get it. Stop. I will get it from Cece. Cece? Bella? No, Cece. Cece. Do squats. Give us a stroller. Come here. Let's go watch Mickey.
And listen, I am not saying that what you're seeing right here is child abuse. I am saying the focus turns to the camera. If it turns to
doing all the things that you need to do to try to sell this product, to get in contact with all these customers, to work your algorithm every single day, where the focus turns to, doing all that instead of focusing on the children. Like here, these little raffle situations, the focus turns more to shaking that raffle jar when, Bella and Cece are fighting and whining and elbowing each other, and Bella's saying to Cece, go away. And Bella asks, she said, I want it, like a dozen times in this video, but you just got to keep shaking the raffle jar, get the script out, get people excited, let them think they're going to win something, because Lavelle Thrive is a winning opportunity, and not enough focus on what's going on with the children. How is this impacting them? Are they having a good time doing this? Are they getting along? Are they having a nice day?
Hey guys, so I'm here with my little munchkins. Hi. Yes. So hopefully this goes well. I'm gonna hold on, girls. Hold on. Girls. Bella, you want to go night-night? Celeste, stop it. Look. All right, guys, I can't invite you because my kids are going crazy. Say hi. Can we not fight, Bella? Stop it. I'm going to try.
I just want to point out that I have on the screen the subtext, the sub conversation that's happening between Cece and Bella while this is going on. I'm just going to go back a little so you can take this all in if you didn't see that. I mean, I know Shanann didn't hear it. She was focusing on making her videos. I just wish she heard the children. That's all I'm saying.
Bella, you want to go night-night? Celeste, stop it. Look. All right, guys, I can't invite you because my kids are going crazy. Say hi. Can we not fight, Bella? Stop it. I'm going to try to do this real quick. Bella. You guys are going to cut it out. This is supposed to be a positive video. Okay, you can have that, but you have to be a good girl. Remember what I said.
I want it.
Yes, Lori. So, Elena's coming back up. Sorry about the frizzy hair. It's been a eventful couple of days of steam showers, so lots of humidity. So, Lori, if you can invite some people that were supposed to hold on, Mama, you can have it in just a second. Girls, we may have to redo this in a couple minutes. You want to go down? You want down? So, I'm just going to go ahead and do the drawing real quick because it's going to be crazy. Hold on. I know you guys all want this little best bucket. Crazy. It's like I'm shaking candy here, you guys. You think I was giving candy out. Bella, sit back.
No, but see, here's the thing. And, obviously, as we're watching this and in retrospect, I'm sure Shanann, if she grew all the wiser with life experience, if she were allowed to live her God-given life like she should have been, obviously, she would have reflected just the same and realized this, I'm sure. It's like it's candy. No, man, it's better than candy because you're shaking that thing. And what that signifies to those children is attention from their mom and approval from their mom and interaction with their mom and being seen and heard by their mom. And that's what they want. And that is so much better than candy. Every time she says, you think it's candy, I just kind of go, oh my God, I just wish, it's just a tragic story.
Do it. I promise I'll let you do it, okay? So I'm trying to keep it away from the kids. So hold on, I'm going to show you guys. So all the names are in the bucket. I wish everyone good luck and Merry Christmas. And I'm grateful to be able to pay it forward to my team and to all of you guys as well. So wait, I got to shake it. Let me shake it.
What about this?
Ella wants this. Look at you guys. Hold this. I'm gonna open the next one. It smells amazing. It smells like hold on, mommy. Hold on.
Cinnabon?
Smell it. Hold on. She's mad because I bit it. That is amazing. Like delicious, you guys. Tastes like literally cinnamon rolls. Okay, Bella. She loves cinnamon rolls. So she really wanted them, obviously, as you can tell. She was mad because I took a bite out of it. But those are mommy's. Mommy earned those. Mommy's going to get them. She's not happy with me right now.
I do just want to make a note in the name of authenticity that those were little clips from an 18-minute long video where Bella said that she was hungry in the first 30 seconds. And for 18 minutes, Bella was teased about eating, about satiating her hunger, and about trying the cinnamon bar pro bars that she had been so super excited about. 18 minutes. 18 minutes.
Another theme that became prevalent when Shanann was selling Vel Thrive and Chris was doing the duo burn patches and doing the whole system and getting in better shape was Chris Watts working out with the kids and using kids as workout tools. Now, sometimes it appeared that maybe he was just having fun with the kids, but then there were other times where it seems that the whole situation was taken too far, that maybe Chris just wanted to be hanging out with his kids, and then the whole thing being recorded was, of course, for the purpose of selling Thrive, and when he didn't comply, not good.
This is what Thrive Duo does. Cece's.
Oh my gosh.
Thrive Duo with Cece.
Hey, you're down.
They want to do that again. Cora,
You got to take a sample of that?
That's done. I can't hear a thing.
you're so live.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
100 miles an hour. We're gonna do it again.
You're losing audience, Chris.
Turn the camera around.
Why don't you do pull-ups?
No, I'm good. Gotta catch these two. Do it again? Okay. We do down to the hut. Now, CC?
Now, I do just want to point out, this is something we talked about during the last live stream. You know, these kids, you know, just like they wanted so badly to be part of that raffle because they wanted that love and attention from a parent, you know, anytime these kids do have a chance to exercise, they're like, damn, I'm on it. You know, I think, you know, Anna Orlando was just saying, you know, some things I can't pin just because I have to look up for my channel. But, you know, I do, you know, I think there perhaps there's other contributing factors, but I am just going to say this. I do believe a large part of the involvement and the having to be so involved in the MLM to try frantically to make back all that money that you invested in, that you're bleeding out the nose every moment that you are involved in it, definitely caused Shanann's attention to be laser focused on trying to sell this product and, you know, being part of that community rather than, you know, on what's in front of her, which is her children here, which did, in my opinion, cause Bella and Celeste to not be engaged or involved in nearly as many age appropriate, developmentally appropriate, and appropriate's the word, activities for children their age. Do you guys have anything to say about that? You can put in comments, or if anybody wants to come up on panel, go ahead and let me know.
Collision.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Oh. All right.
Thank God you duo.
Thrive plus duo. All the way to go. Oh.
And all of this for what? Was Shanann Watts actually making money in any of the MLMs she was involved in? And she was involved in many. We're going to talk about that in a little bit in this video. And was she making money in Thrive? We are going to hear what Chris Watts had to say about the money that he thought Shanann was making in Thrive. But I've got to say, there is evidence that shows that Chris Watts, by choice or by stupidity, was completely ignorant of their financial situation. And it was his mistress, Nicole Kessinger, that brought their financial situation into light and put emphasis on finances in general in Chris Watts' mind. And we are also going to talk about that. But first, let's hear what Chris Watts had to say about what he thought Shanann was making in Thrive when he was interviewed in Dodge Correctional Facility in February of 2019.
Did that actually make money?
Mm-hmm.
So not only just more sales, but it actually put money in your guys' pocket?
No.
And she made probably in that last year, probably as much as I did.
On commissions, basically? I mean, I know that's a simplified version of it, but...
Yep. I mean, it's, they don't take taxes out on it, so...
Right.
So that was like the good thing, and they paid for your car.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Did they give you an allowance or something to buy a car?
Yeah, if you're a certain level, like a 12K or above, they give you a car allowance once a month. I'm not sure how they made money. The owners doing that, but they did.
Yeah.
Unless there's just like an insane markup on the product, which I guess there is.
Probably that's it.
Not sure how much it costs for them to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how much she made. He said that she was really competitive and she liked to try to keep up with him. He's like, she gets close sometimes. So I don't know how much those two brought in. I mean, off the top of my head, if I could guess, probably somewhere around like 140K a year. I mean, I don't know because I don't know exactly how much he makes and I don't know exactly how much she makes. But based just off of like what I know about the oil field, like, yeah, I would say that's probably an accurate estimate.
Well, we can't say that we know exactly how much Shanann and Chris made in 2018, which is the year that this tragedy happened, and the year that Chris Watts was dating this person here, his mistress, Nicole Kessinger. We do know from previous bankruptcy filings exactly how much the couple made in 2013, 2014, and 2015, and we have a pretty good idea of how much they made after that. So as you see here, in 2013, both Chris and Shanann were employed and they made a combined income of $147,000. That's pretty good for a young couple, new parents, not so bad. In 2014, their combined income took a substantial hit, less $57,000, and they made a combined income of almost $91,000. By the year 2015 came around, they made yet again $50,000 less than the year before, but this is only the year to date. And they filed in July, so I'm just thinking this through. That's about a half a year, so they are looking towards making about $80,000 combined income in 2015. From 2015, their income just went down each year, year over year after that. Let's look at what they were doing throughout each of these years and what was going on in the world of Shanann's involvement with MLMs, or multi-level marketing companies.
And then you mentioned today you read something about bankruptcy.
Yep.
What did you read?
That those guys filed bankruptcy for a lot of money.
Who are those guys?
That couple.
Okay.
In 2015. Oh, Shanann and Chris
Thanks.
filed bankruptcy in 2015.
Okay. And you said for a lot of money. Do you recall the amount?
No, because it was
totally off topic, but talking about growing all the wiser as you move on in life. I hope Nicole Kessinger looks back at this interview and realizes what an absolute dumbass she looks like, because she cannot say Shanann's name. Oh, that couple. Oh, those two. Oh, that couple. Oh, that couple. Awkward silence. Oh, Shanann and Chris. Like, what is up with that?
different in each of the newspapers, and I don't know which one to believe. Okay. So hundreds of thousands of dollars. So yeah, I didn't know that.
Let's go just back to him and the financial. He tells you he has a concern enough to at least express something to you that he's frustrated with the way she spends, or he's upset with working so hard and never having any money, and she's kind of she's the responsible party for spending most of the money.
I pretty much got that vibe. I mean, he just told me, he's like, we're house broke all the time. I was just like, that's unfortunate. And I asked him, I was like, do you have 401k? And he was like, yeah. And I mean, the reason I asked him this is because if I get in a relationship with somebody, I want to know like what kind of baggage that they have. I think that's important. If I walk into a situation where I'm like, hey, I have good credit and I have all these things that I've been building, and you don't have your stuff together, like, what are we going to do with this? And it's important for your long-term.
You're smart.
Thing. So I'm preparing. And so I just asked him, I was like, well, do you have 401k? And he's like, yeah, I do have that. And then I asked him, I was like, I didn't ask him like how much debt they had or anything, but I just said, is your lifestyle sustainable? And he was like, no. Okay. And I was like, how long do you think that's going to take? He's like, I don't know, but it's not sustainable.
Where did his girls go to school?
I don't know. He never actually told me. Like when I asked him once, it was like when I was trying to find him an apartment, I was like, are you comfortable telling me where your girls go to school? That's in the text too. I was like, so I can figure out what distance from the apartment it is. I was trying to just make his life convenient with like him, his ex, his kids, and all the stuff that he needs to do and work. And he was like, don't worry about it. Their school's pretty centrally located. So anywhere in the area that we were discussing will be fine. And he just left it at that. So he didn't even tell me, which was fine. I respect that.
Daycare is obviously very expensive for a 2, 3, and 5-year-old. Right? So
I understand.
Did he ever bring did he ever discuss that?
Never.
Okay.
Never. Like the only financial thing he ever said is just like, she just likes to spend money, like a lot of it. So that was just kind of the vibe that I got from that. And that it was a lifestyle that she liked to live, like very like materialistic kind of lifestyle.
Over the years, Shanann was involved in a number of MLM companies. The first one that we have record of is her involvement with what is known to be the very first MLM company, the grandfather of all MLM companies, and it's the company Amway. She was selling their skincare products called Artistry. Apparently, that was Shanann's entry point. Okay, so now we are looking back into Shanann Watt's history with various MLMs, and I made a little chart for you. It's not that awesome. It's not my best, but you get the point. And we'll see where the bankruptcy falls on the continuum of Shanann's involvement with these MLMs and such. So if you're interested in that, perk up, pay attention. Into the MLM community. After her involvement with Amway, Shanann became involved in a number of different MLMs. I made this little timeline here. It looks a little crowded, but on the top in the yellow, green, and blue, it shows the MLMs that Shanann was involved in, except for red. That's Thrive. So that's another one of them. So on this chart, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 MLMs that she was involved with. And I've got another one, LuLaRoe, that is not on here. So after she got involved in Amway in 2013, also in that same year, she became involved with a company called It Works, which has to do something with body wraps that make you slimmer, and the company Unique that features beauty products. After that, she became involved in 2014 with a company called 31 Bags. In 2015, she became involved with a company called Usborne, that is a company that sells children's books. Also, Pantry Queen. In 2016, she became involved with a company called Origami Owl. And then eventually later in 2016, she became involved in Lavelle's Thrive. Now, maybe you can see here from this chart some other things that happened while she was involved in all of these MLMs. And after the first round, the first 3, they just had moved into their house in Frederick, Colorado. And then shortly after, Bella was born. Just as she was becoming involved in those 3 first MLMs, she left her job at Longmont Ford, where she worked with Chris when they first moved to Colorado. You can see that they declared their first bankruptcy in June of 2015 after Shanann's involvement with 6 of the 8 MLMs that I have here on this chart. So she was involved in 6 different MLMs, and then they declared bankruptcy. And we already know from what we reviewed by the bankruptcy filings earlier in this video that in 2013, 14, and 15, their combined income decreased substantially year after year. And after 2015, we have ample evidence that the combined income only went down from there. Although after Chris started working in Anadarko, his salary increased every year. Something else we're able to determine from the bankruptcy filings is that in 2015, when they declared bankruptcy in July of 2015, Shanann only declared $111 in commission. So that would be commission from the MLMs. And that was after she had been involved in Amway, It Works, Unique, 31 Bags, Origami Owl, Osborne, and Pantry Queen. So to make only $111 in commission from all of that involvement, $111. Now this is important. Okay, so on this filing, it showed for the amount of income for commissions, which is going to be anything that you're making in any MLM. She made $111. Now again, I reiterate, this is taxable income. So either she's lying, she's hiding all the money from the IRS and not paying taxes, but they're still in all of that debt. They're not paying taxes on the income that they don't have from these MLMs, but they're still looking towards bankruptcy. Or if they're being honest with the IRS because they're a little afraid of the IRS like the rest of America, then the income from these MLMs really was apathetic. But no matter how you look at it, this is no bueno, no good. In commission. So that would be commission from the MLMs. And that was after she had been involved in Amway, It Works, Unique, 31 Bags, Origami Owl, Osborne, and Pantry Queen. So to make only $111 in commission from all of that involvement and all that effort that's put into these MLMs, well, you know, I mean, guys, that kind of speaks for itself. Was she making money doing this? No. And I don't think that Thrive was much different. And there's a lot of evidence to prove that. Here's another piece of information we know from the discovery. It says here that Shanann recently took out $10,000 from Chris Watt's 401k to catch up on their mortgage payments. And that was about 5 months ago. So that would have been in March of 2018. March of 2018. This is well into Shanann's career, so to speak, with Thrive. And then it says, bullet point, they were 3 months behind on their mortgage payments. Well, we know that at the time of the death of Shanann, Bella Celeste, and unborn baby Nico, they were several months behind on their mortgage payments, more than 3 months. So where did that $10,000 go from Chris's 401k? This also says in the discovery, they had received a letter from Chase Bank pertaining to their delinquent home loan. He and Shanann were stressed about their financial situation. Of course they were. Here it says that Chris has less than $2,000 in his Chase checking account, approximately $1,500 in their USAA checking account. But we know that that is not even true. They literally, at the time of the deaths, did not have a penny to their name. So going back to the question, where did that $10,000 go that Shanann took from Chris's 401k? Well, I have a pretty good idea where that went. And it may have been right back into Lavelle. Shanann was selling the product Thrive. Let me explain.
I feel like Lavelle makes it easy for us, you know, and with all of the, you know, the way that we can put together samples, you know, to send out to customers with brochures. You just order everything right in the gear store, business cards. You know, the only thing that extra that I order is I like these little bags I get from Amazon, and I have little labels that I put on everything that have my name and my website. It's nice. These have definitely been nice. I feel like they have added more of a professional touch, like they came straight from Lavelle. Like I didn't put them together. So I like using these. I prefer using these just because sometimes I have, you know, plus line products that someone may say they want to try. I can put a bundle of plus line in there, put it all together. So I feel like sometimes there's a week where I'll send out 20 and then sometimes it's maybe like 5. And I print everything up at home on stamps.com, which is my favorite thing ever. I've got records of every sample I've sent since I started. I've used this program So I can track and go through the history. So I feel like for my business, it's really helpful because I can go through my history of who did I send samples to when? Did this product come out and they sampled, maybe Duo? Now we've got the TAC patches. So I'm going to go through my history. I'm not very organized, but that keeps me organized.
We have those Thrive sample mail out options, and I've been using those for like the last year. I went back into my history of all the samples I have sent out one day, and I just blew up Megan's Messenger. I connected every single person that I had sampled in the last year to Megan in a 3-way message thread. And I just said, hey, I'm so sorry it's taken me this long to get back to you. I'm just coming around and following up to everybody that has sampled Thrive with me. Were you able to take your sample? If so, how did it go? And I always end the message with a question because that is a higher likelihood that you're going to get an answer.
Now, I told you that I am a former MLMer and I was involved in companies just like this with this kind of training and these sorts of availabilities. Samples are huge.
Let me just answer these questions. I see
Thing.
a lot of
We're
you guys
absolutely
sorry, in chat. Oh, look at there's me.
It is a
Selling
must.
my MLM crap. So you guys, I see you guys talking in chat. A few people are talking about the trips that are paid for. So Hibiscus Tea says, question please, and welcome Hibiscus Tea. Awesome name. And I love Hibiscus Tea. Question please, if you know, when it's stated all expense paid trips, could that indicate Thrive subtracts the cost from sales? Well, that's very insightful. In some places, some companies do that. But unless you're like in the training team, which is basically that panel of Thrive millionaires, Lavelle pays for the hotel room. You get bored when they go on those all expenses paid vacation. What that means is the company Lavelle pays for your hotel room, and the rooms are usually shared. You pay for your own plane tickets. You pay for your own food. You pay for your own ground transportation once you are wherever you're going. So the only thing that they pay for is literally the roof over your head when you're in your hotel room sleeping at night to keep your belongings or whatever. So it's really it's not I want to say it's like a misnomer, but it's not a misnomer. It's a lie, right? It's just a lie. It's a scam.
That you purchase samples and get them out to as many people as possible. And I mean, I'm talking mad samples, and they are expensive. You'd think that they would be discounted because it is a consultant.
Pause here. This is the important point because I asked the question, where do we think that $10,000, because this woman was just talking about samples, got to give out samples. I know when I was involved in MLMs, samples was a huge thing. I spent a shitload of money on samples. I still have tons of them. I stopped doing Beauty Counter. That was the last one I did where I decided I was going to work it and actually made money off of it because I planned to scam them the way the other two had scammed me. and I had to do exactly what I planned, or I would have lost money once again. It was hard to do, actually. Not hard to do, like it was fine to do, but I wanted to keep going because these things become addictive. We'll talk about that another time. Where did the $10,000 go from Chris Watts 4OK? Oh, honey, it went into Thrive products. Now I'm explaining the amount of money that Shanann or anybody would have had to invest to try to make money. So here we go.
To Lavelle. Shanann was selling the product Thrive. Let me explain.
I feel like Lavelle makes it easy for us, and with all of the, the way that we can put together samples, to send out to customers with brochures. You just order everything.
And they're expensive when you get those prepackaged samples and all that crap, all those items. All that she has there is Thrive merchandise that they sell to consultants at a pretty penny. More expensive than purchasing the products themselves are the promotional material and the samples. That stuff right there. It's so expensive. I'll try to find you a price list for tomorrow night. Because tomorrow night we're going to talk about the finances. We're going to do a deep dive into the finances of this MLM stuff in the Watts family. That's going to be tomorrow night.
Right in the gear store, business cards. The only thing that extra that I order is I like these little bags I get from Amazon, and I have little labels that I put on everything that have my name and my website. It's nice. These have definitely been nice. I feel like they have added more of a professional touch like they came straight from Lavelle. Like I didn't put them together. So I like using these. I prefer using these just because sometimes I have, plus line products that someone may say they want to try. I can put a bundle of plus line in there, put it all together. So I feel like sometimes there's a week where I'll send out 20 and then sometimes it's maybe like 5. And I print everything up at home on stamps.com, which is my favorite thing ever. I've got records of every sample I've sent since I started. I've used this program. So I can track and go through the history. So I feel like for my business, it's really helpful because I can go through my history of who did I send samples to when? Did this product come out and they sampled, maybe Duo? Now we've got the TAC patches. So I'm going to go through my history. I'm not very organized, but that keeps me organized.
We have those Thrive sample mail out options, and I've been using those for like the last year. I went back into my history of all the samples I have sent out one day, and I just blew up Megan's Messenger. I connected every single person that I had sampled in the last year to Megan in a 3-way message thread. And I just said, hey, I'm so sorry it's taken me this long to get back to you. I'm just coming around and following up to everybody that has sampled Thrive with me. Were you able to take your sample? If so, how did it go? And I always end the message with a question because that is a higher likelihood that you're going to get an answer.
Now, I told you that I am a former MLMer and I was involved in companies just like this with this kind of training and these sorts of availabilities. Samples are a huge thing. You are absolutely encouraged. It is a must that you purchase samples and get them out to as many people as possible. And I mean, I'm talking mad samples and they are expensive. You'd think that they would be discounted because it is the consultants that are purchasing these products to have others sample them, but they're actually more expensive because they are individually packaged to be samples, and that individual packaging costs money. And if you are really giving it a go at any kind of MLM, you are purchasing mad samples, you're sending them out, and the return on them generally is totally negative. Bomb. So not only are you having samples available for your prospects, for people that you're approaching as customers or more likely with a business opportunity, you also have to have products so you can have events. So you can do, Thrive calls them locals. So you'll go somewhere local or in your own house and you'll have a party and everybody will get samples and it's going to be great. We know that Shanann did this a few times, and all of this costs a ton of money. And then there's more obvious costs, something that Shanann was clearly a big fan of because she ran them several times with the kids involved. It's when, Cece and Bella were, involved in that raffle, and Bella kept saying, I want it. It just really didn't go well. It wasn't a good look in my opinion, but Shanann ran these raffles all the time where she would literally give away pretty substantial cash prizes.
Hi guys, so we're doing the $600 drawing tonight for the 4K by the 25th. Everyone who reached 4K is getting their name into the drawing. So the first one is Chris Watts. Chris Watts. And then we have Christina Meacham. And then we have Michelle Davis. Good luck, guys. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. All right, now pick one. Thank you. Michelle Davis, congratulations. Say good job. No more. We got a winner. We have a winner. Say good job. Good job. Candy corn. Hey guys, it's Shanann and Bella. We're here to do the drawing from yesterday. Yay! We're drawing names for yesterday, for everyone who had entries yesterday into the drawing. Good luck, guys. Bella, come pick out a name. Hurry. Come pick out a name, please. Come pick out a name. All right, guys, let's go to Bella. Bella, pick out a name. Oh, Just one. Which one do you want to put back? That one? Okay. Who could it be? Who is it? Who's going to be the lucky winner? Who is it? Well, hurry. I'm losing my patience here. Oh my goodness! Woo! Say it. Minaj. All right, guys. Our winner is Christina. Congratulations, Christina. Ready? Hey guys, so we're super excited. It's me and Bella. We're here to announce our second winner for the $300 cash prize that we had. We had to hit $2,000 in volume, and not only did we hit the $2,000 in volume, but we smashed it and we hit 40K as a team. So I'm so excited for you guys. So we had a lot of entries yesterday. We had Genevieve, we had Chrissy, had 2 entries. We had Brittany, we had Liz, we had Christina, DJ, Susan. We had a lot of entries yesterday, so I'm so excited to see Madison, Michelle, Beth had an entry, so we'll see who won. Pick one.
That one?
Whatever one. Drop one. Who is it?
And then, of course, there are the more hidden costs, the more sort of sneaky, underhanded costs, the cost of making it look like your business is bigger or much bigger than it actually is. And unfortunately, I have to say, I'm pretty sure that is what Shanann watched in. Other people that I've talked to who have been involved in MLMs believe the same thing. And it's so sad for her. She was really just trying her hardest, and she probably just thought this is what it is going to take. So let's take a look at what those hidden or sneaky costs are and what the actual earning potential was for Shanann or anybody else involved in Thrive Lavelle. Let's determine if multi-level marketing companies are actually offering a business opportunity that is a viable business opportunity to most of the people who enroll as consultants. And although most multi-level marketing companies claim that you can start up your business with little to no upfront cost, we're going to take a look at the real cost of giving a shot to success in a multi-level marketing company in both financial terms and the real price most people pay that is far more precious than dollars, cents, or euros. So let's start by taking a look at the Lavelle commission plan. Now, these commission plans are very complicated, and I believe that is by design. Not everybody understands what they're looking at when they get into it. They just see some high potential earning dollars, and in my opinion, they think, hey, well, that's great. That's what I'm going to make. So awesome. Let's do this. So you see here, we have level 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the upper right-hand box, okay? And then in the lower box, the rectangular box that spans across the entire page, we have levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, okay? Now, if you look at the uni-level team commissions, now just stay with me. I'm going to explain all this, I promise. You'll see going across from left to right, it says P rank, promoter, 4K VIP, 12K VIP, and 40K VIP, 80K VIP, and 200K VIP. So you see, as you go from promoter to the 200K VIP, you're basically selling more volume. So when you see PV, that stands for personal volume. That's the volume of product that supposedly you're supposed to purchase to remain at that level. So it says 100 PV across the board.
So each month, Lavelle wants you to spend $100 personally on yourself. Guys, no. I assure you that never happens, especially as people get up into the higher levels, okay? Then you're going to see QV. What that stands for is quality volume or quantitative volume. I've seen it two different ways depending on the MLM that you're talking about. So what that means is the total volume that you yourself and your team brings in monthly. Let's look at the 12K VIP column because that's when people start getting that sought after car bonus. So what the car bonus is, first of all, is it's $300 cash or $800 directly towards a lease per month. They give you a choice of a Tesla, a Lexus, a BMW, and some other expensive cars. Now, guys, the thing is, you have to stay at this level of selling each month to maintain your status within the company and also to maintain your car bonus. So if 1 month you dip below what the requirement is to get that car bonus, that $800 payment on your lease is on you. No help from Lavelle whatsoever, okay? So as we're looking at that 12K VIP level, we see it says 100 PV. So you're supposed to sell $100 yours or purchase $100 of products yourself. $100 personal volume. Then it says 12,000.
Oh, wait. Whenever I see Kurt Stacy in the house, we have to stop everything and say, Kurt Stacy, it's so great to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Great to see you. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're feeling good. I hope things are going well and that you're feeling healthy these days. Let me know how you're doing. We're doing another live stream tomorrow night too, so maybe you can come up. Maybe you can come on panel tomorrow night. I'm a little tired tonight, so I'm not going to do panel, but we're going to continue this MLM talk tomorrow night. But great to see you, Kurt Stacy. Everyone say hi to Kurt Stacy.
1,000 QV. And underneath that, it says 7,200 QV. So the 12,000 is the minimum QV that yourself and your team must be bringing in per month. So that means yourself and your team must be selling $12,000 worth of products per month. Now it gets even more particular than that because the 7,200 is associated with a max strong leg QV. So what?
I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but Chelsea, I just need to let you know, Chelsea, take a deep breath. You are in the exact right place. You're in good company. It's okay. Chelsea says, oh my gosh, I know this happened years ago, but I've been obsessing over this case the last 2 weeks. I remember when it happened, but for whatever reason, I have been deep into this and I don't know why. And I think probably everyone here feels exactly the same. So welcome, Chelsea. You are one of us. I'm so glad you're here.
What that means is you cannot sell all of your products through one strong leg. So picture, the pyramid scheme where there's the triangle, you're at the top ostensibly, and there's people beneath you, and then more people beneath the row that's beneath you, and more people beneath the row that's beneath them. So if you have a strong leg, some high sellers or just some consultants that are purchasing a lot because they want to maintain their status, the maximum that you can get out of one leg, your strong leg, is $7,200. So that means you still have to come up with $4,800 from your not so strong leg in this pyramid scheme.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. And hey, Pepper, thanks for gifting the membership. And Vicki LaRon, you won a What's the Obsession membership. Welcome. So this is what I was talking about earlier. To keep the car bonus, you have to reach this level. But it's not only that you need to bring in $12,000 worth of revenue, whether it be from the people below you selling it, you buying it almost all yourself, except you can't buy it all because they have these little caveats about how you need to bring in the money to strengthen the overall business. So you down low on the pyramid can keep shooting that money up top to the people at the top of the pyramid. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That's what the entire commission structure is about.
Structured business. Now, let me tell you guys what happens a lot of the time, and not all the time. There are some people who are successful in MLMs. There are some people who, on a monthly basis, make this volume honestly and reach these levels. Reaching these levels of achievement month after month and month over month is very difficult. As you're going to see in some statistics I'm going to show you in a moment, it's nearly impossible. So what happens is, and I believe this is what happened with Shanann Watts, is that people will purchase an insane amount of product so they can maintain that level. Now, there are some limits as to how much you yourself can purchase of that $12,000 QV that's needed to maintain that 12K VIP status. But theoretically, a consultant could buy most of that or a good part of that $12,000 worth of product themselves to stay at that level. And when they do, I think what they do is they justify it by saying, well, I'm going to have all this product on hand to share with people, to, do my local parties in case some of my downline or the people that I've signed up underneath me need some product that they can share so they can grow their business. Then I'll have that on hand. And it's going to be good for the growth of my business to have all of this product on hand. So I'm going to go ahead and buy it. But what happens is when you need to do that month after month, you simply can't afford it. And the money that you're bringing in through the MLM, and perhaps the MLM and another full-time or part-time job, is not even going to be covering what you owe and the amount of product you've purchased. Isn't that crazy? Now let's take a look at the two.
All right, up. That is fully what I believe happened with Shanann. The amount that she owed from all the stuff that she bought to participate in the business opportunity was more than what she was making. Guys, I feel really certain after, investigating all this, knowing how the MLMs work, how that commission structure works for that particular MLM, looking at their financials and all that, having been involved, I am so sure that's what happened. I feel like I want to cry, just honest to God. I feel like I'm about to tear up. It's just so sad. It's just so sad. Like, I don't even know how MLMs are legal in the United States. I mean, I don't know what the laws governing business activity in other countries are necessarily. Well, I guess to some degree, but not as well as the United States. I do not know how these companies are still legal in the US. I truly do not.
100,000K VIP level, because that's where Shanann Watts was supposedly at.
Nope. Sorry. That is, I use that little clip of this one video and I put it in several other MLM videos or a few others. She was not supposedly at the 200K level. That was my mistake. Okay. She was at the 80K level. She's holding this 200K sign. It was like the vision board thing, like vision it and you can do it, right? Just all you got to do is vision it, envision it. She did reach the 200K level after death, and her family inherited her business. So that's how that goes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back.
Hey, Peter.
This in a state of
Let me go back to where we were. He must have been the next video up. Little plug for lawyer, All right.
And their downlines. And the amount of product.
So again, she is not the 200K level. That was my mistake. She reached 200K after death.
You've purchased. Isn't that crazy? Now let's take a look at the 200,000K VIP level, because that's where Shanann Watts was supposedly at. The requirement to be at that level is to bring in 200,000 QV. That's $200,000 worth of products sold through yourself and your team and their downlines. And we see the number $120,000 underneath the $200,000. So that's the maximum that your strong leg can bring in. So even your weaker sales legs still need to be bringing in $80,000 worth of sold product of that $200,000 QV or $200,000 of product for a person to maintain that 200K VIP level. And we ask, where did the $10,000 go to that Shanann had Chris take out of his 401k? I'll throw that question
All right,
right
ready?
back at you.
Hit it down
Hit
there.
it, Bella. Hard. Hit it hard.
Bend down and hit it. Come on.
Nice. Nice.
Do it again.
Do it again. Do
You want to do it again? Hit that again, Bella.
The question remains exactly how many people of those who attempt success in an MLM actually reach any level of success? Let's take a look at the Lavelle Income Disclosure Form for the year 2020. So every MLM is required to publish an income disclosure form, and this is Lavelle's. So you'll see the top level is promoter, or at the top of the chart, the top row, it says promoter. Going down, it says 4K VIP, 12K VIP, 40K VIP, 80K VIP, and 200K VIP. So as you go down in the rows, you're going up, in the levels of success, potential success in Lavelle. So we see here that 94.7 of active Lavelle consultants selling Thrive are at the promoter level. And 75.6 of the total 100% of active Lavelle consultants are at that
Hold it. I
team.
just have to address this because this is such a great comment, and this is it, Danielle. This is it, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I seriously wonder if someone within the upper ranks of the MLM tricked Shanann into believing that she might have a special place in the company if she kept her sales up for a while. Guys, everybody, listen up. Daniel says, I wonder if someone in the upper ranks of the MLM tricked Shanann into believing that she might have a special place in the company if she kept up her sales for a while. Here's the exact point. MLMs make every single person who becomes a consultant believe that, Daniel. And that is why they are so dangerous, and they are such scams, and they are predatory. And I am shocked that they are still legal under the UCC, there we go, in any country, third world, well, I'm civilized country, third world civilized. I'm getting everything flip-flopped today. I'm going to stop talking after this. But that's why they're so dangerous, because from the very top down to the person who is just above you, who recruited you, all of those people in the pyramid above you, and that is a heavy weight of people, lots of sweat and weight and smelly souls. They all have an interest in you succeeding. And how do you succeed in a business where there's no chance of succeeding? It's just a big vision board. It's a dog and pony show. It's all about, yeah, you can do this. Woohoo! Beating the drums. The gang mentality someone said earlier, good way to describe it. Everybody woohoo, raha, we can do this. Go sell. These people get all excited. It's like a wave. There's this wave of excitement, and then slowly, as they realize that this is an insurmountable task that you're being asked to do to find success in this venture, they start to lose their enthusiasm and they drop off. And when you drop off, you are discarded like a dead flea off of a dog's fur coat. Later, squish, stomp on you, try to make you go away, because we don't want anybody to know there's any remnants of you and your failures. So we're just going to try to stomp you right into the sidewalk here until there's nothing you left. They don't want to, then they discard you. So somebody said earlier too that they thought that Shanann was more attracted to the community and the socialization aspect of it, or the people, than the products. Absolutely. I don't think she was into the products at all. I don't think she cared about the products one bit. I think that's exactly what she was in it for. And that's a really sad thing about it, because it seemed like she had a really good group of friends, and like Christina Meacham, she'd been friends with for a very long time, but really they reconnected because of Thrive. And all of her friends at the time were involved in Thrive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what would happen if she decided she was going to leave Thrive? Would those friends be there anymore? Would Addie Maloney be her friend? Fuck no. So yeah. So Daniel wonders if somebody in the upper ranks of the MLM tricked Shanann into believing that she might have a special place in the company if she kept up her sales for a while. Every single person who is selling products for an MLM company and really believes it is tricked into thinking they have a special place in that company if they keep up their sales for a while. Awesome comment.
Team building level. So when you're selling Thrive, you have two possibilities for income: just being an active promoter or consultant, and then being a team builder. It's like a plus. You get a little more, right? So 94.7% of consultants in Lavelle are at the promoter level, and they're making an average of $159 per year. The 75.6% of consultants selling Thrive at the promoter level are team building, so they're making a little more. It's $650 a year on average. So then we see at the 4K VIP level, 3.2% of all active Lavelle consultants are there. And 15.1% are at that team building level. So they're making a little more. Actually, when we go over the row, we see actually they're making a little less. I'm not sure how that works. So their average is about $4,700 per year, but that's only 3.2% of all of the consultants in Lavelle. So going up to that 12
Lotus Spider, yes, these are the 2020 statistics.
12K VIP level, that's the level where you get the car bonus on a month-by-month basis. So you have to maintain this level every month. So 12K VIP, remember, means that you're selling $12,000 of product, you and your team are, and your strongest leg can only sell so much.
Why you want to make this work? I'm not selling the product. I'm sharing. I'm just telling my story. This is what it's done for me. What can it do for you?
So 1.5% of Lavelle consultants are at that 12K VIP level, and 6.7% are at the 12K team building level. So they're making an average of about $20,000 a year. Now, once we go up to that 40K VIP level, we see only
remember, let's use the 12K VIP level for an example, because that's the level Shanann was at. So the average active or team build, whatever, they're making around $20,000 a year. That's one where you get the car bonus. Now, remember, that includes the car bonus, by the way. So what is it? Say if you make that every month, this is your compensation. So if you make that every month, that's about $10,000 off of it. So half of that's your car bonus. But remember, you've got to take out of that $20,000 the taxes you're supposed to be paying and the expenses that you incur for being in this business. And when you take that into account, I promise you, there are negative dollars left. Negative dollars every time.
3% of consultants in Lavelle are at the active 40K VIP level, and 1.3% are at the 40K VIP level, and they're team building. It's a very small percent. So they're making about $50,000 a year. Pretty good. But again, guys, it's less than 1% of all consultants in Lavelle. At the 80K VIP level, 0.2% of active consultants have reached that, and 0.8% of consultants are team building at that level. So they're making a good income, $95,000 a year. But that is a small fraction of a percent of the consultants that go for success in this company. And that 200K VIP level, guys.
I just want to say good night, Anaphylaxis. Thank you so much for everything. You're amazing. Have a good night.
Only 0.1% of all of the people who are still active in Lavelle that year tried their success at being a consultant. Only 0.1% ever reach that level, and they are making a really good living. So that's $340,000 a year. Heck, I would take it. Honey, Shanann Watts was not making $340,000 a year. God bless her soul. Seriously, I wish she was. I believe that Shanann Watts was a good businesswoman. She had business sense. I think that she could have been successful in a stable business that was not an MLM structure if she applied herself. I really do believe that. But guys, she says she was at that 200K VIP level and the average income yearly is $340,000, yet they were on the verge of declaring bankruptcy and barely had a dollar to their name. So, we see, guys, that of those trying success in Lavelle with Thrive, 94.7%, about 95% hang out at that promoter level, and they're making a couple $100 a year.
So how is it that so many people get involved in these MLMs, and even though the statistics clearly tell them they're going to fail, they somehow believe that they have a shot at making a lot of money with this business opportunity? Why is that? Well,
Now,
as I told you guys before, and Cuff You, what a great comment here. I was one of those people. I'm one of the people who was fooled, like I'm talking about. So I'm not like, oh my God, those idiots. Well, if I am, I'm like, oh my God, those idiots and me, idiot. But I don't feel that way. Like I understand like what happened and what the allure was. And I understand for Shanann. So Cuff You says her experience in MLMs. I got physically sick trying to make money for my family. At the end, I found myself crying all the time, just like Shanann, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Thank you so much for sharing that great statement, because I think the vast majority of people who are involved in MLMs because they think it's going to be a living for their family, a vast majority, probably commensurate with those statistics we just saw about earnings, feel the exact same way. Thank you so much for sharing that. They started with Amway and their magical thinking, their culture that told people if they think about positive things will happen. If we spend time improving ourselves every day, then we will be improved and our business will be improved and our income will be improved and everything will be great. They had their book of the month and it would be some guys. You're talking about Nicole Atkinson, our friend, Crafted Evidence podcast was in here earlier. She just recently on her channel did an interview with Nicole Atkinson, just about nothing about the Watts case, just how she's doing right now, her battle with cancer and such. So I see some of you really like her. So if you do want to see that interview, it was just like 2 weeks ago. Okay. It's some motivational book that was really usually based on magical thinking. I'm going to play an excerpt from the channel, The Recovering Hunbot, who has done a ton of research. Well, she had her own experience as a multi-level marketing consultant, and her company was Beachbody. And she has a channel now that is an anti-MLM channel. She does some true crime, and she talks extensively about Shanann Watts' experience in MLMs. I would definitely recommend her channel. So take a listen to what she has to say.
In multi-level marketing, personal development is intimately connected. As a former Beachbody coach, one of the vital behaviors, of which there are 4, is
great
personal
channel for
development.
MLMs.
Part of the lure of multi-level marketing is the idea if you keep a positive mindset, keep working, and never give up on your dream, you too can make it. If you fail, you only have yourself to blame. This overall idea is connected to the law of attraction. And when you start looking into the development of it, you find the new thought movement and mesmerism. I've made videos about that as well. Without going into the entire backstory of Shanann and her involvement with Amway, let's just, say that Amway is the grand poobah of all MLMs, and anything that comes afterwards basically is taking that same concept and repackaging it, reformulating it, revising it. It's just basically another form of Amway, but with a different name, different product, different service, but same sort of concept.
On the vision board, I'm a big believer in vision boards. In fact, I just took one thing off my vision board today, which was this. See, it happened. Okay, so on here are some quotes that I like about everyday courage. And it's exciting to think that some of our best moments haven't even happened, because I do believe that. I think the goal is to never peak, never ever peak. With God, all things are possible. And then this note from Megan, who is my sponsor. And then she actually took this picture of me. This is her Millionaire Award. And she took this picture. She handed it to me that day, took this picture of me, and she sent this to me and said, put this on your vision board.
As many of you know, Shanann had her vision board, and she had Bella make a vision board.
I want to buy this.
You want a laptop? Okay. She wants a laptop. Guess what we do with that? When you want something, we add it to your vision board, right? Right? Don't we add it to your vision board? Yep. When we want something, we add it to our vision board.
And that video in general, I mean, I'm just going to say that was like a bad day for Shanann or something. Like, what in God's name was going on there? I want to bite this. You want a laptop? Okay, we put that on the vision board. The really whole thing was confusing to me. She had great goals on that vision board, and she possibly believed that some of those could happen because the aspects of multi-level marketing that are built into each company, like that car bonus, it really isn't a car bonus. It's just an idea. And if you don't hit that certain number every month, you don't get it and you find yourself more in debt. Or those lifestyle getaways that Shanann and Chris went on frequently that, people like Shanann will say, oh, it's an all expense paid vacation, but it is really not. The dynamics of that are much different than what people who are involved in MLMs tend to tell you. For example, Lavelle, for most people, will pay for their hotel, but you're going to have to pay for your food. You're going to have to pay for your flight. So although Lavelle is paying for your hotel, and yeah, that's nice, you're still paying for over half of that so-called all expense paid vacation that you're going on to beat the drum along with all of the other people in the Thrive tribe who believe they have a shot at making money. With this whole vision board concept, like many things that are taught in the MLM culture, the concepts are misapplied, misappropriated, and misplaced. Like trying to get a 3 or 4-year-old to make a vision board and focus on it and think about their future goals might be a little age inappropriate. I just want to say, somebody here says, and welcome, says, I'm involved with Melaleuca. I love the products. I just buy for myself. I don't expect to get free products. I do want to say that I do believe that Melaleuca is one of the MLMs. This is my understanding and the exposure I've had to it, where the culture is not like the rest of the MLMs, and Melaleuca has awesome products. So good for you. Good for you. I'm glad you said that, because it wouldn't have popped into my mind. But hey, there, I can point out a good, what I believe a company that's doing good and that's doing, I don't know if I can't say doing good because I don't know enough, but they don't seem to be doing as much harm, if they are doing harm, as other companies, and they have very good products. Activity, perhaps, I don't know, but Bella wasn't really vibing with the idea of future goals. She just wanted to play with her sister and her mommy and daddy.
What would you like on your vision board?
Right.
What do you want to add to it? We need to add to it.
Write it again.
You want to do it again?
Yes.
Okay. But what would you like to add to your new vision board?
My what? I'm selling with it.
I know. Focus, child. Bella, look at me. Hey, focus. What do you want to add to your new vision?
Like the concept of this, a vision board, this is a freaking huge MLM thing. Huge, huge. If you can envision it, you can do it. It's about the vision. Just envision it, you can do it. You need a vision board. Here's your vision board. Here's the vision board. The one thing you get when you sign up with the MLM is a vision board for free. Imagine that. Right. So, good, idea, good values behind this to instill in your child. Think about, what makes you happy, what you want to surround yourself with that makes you feel good, but, not made age appropriate for Bella whatsoever. Focus, child. Focus, child. What do you want in your vision board? What do you want in your vision board? Rather than Bella, maybe, a vision board for someone Bella's age would be, to have pictures of things that make you happy. Pictures of things that make you feel safe. What do you think you want more of, every day that would, make you happier, would make you feel safer, would make you feel, whatever it is, but completely not modified to be age appropriate whatsoever. So to me, this is just an exercise. Honestly, and I know Shanann meant well. I know she did, but it's just an exercise truly to have more footage for a Facebook post to put on your Facebook to sell your product. And that is what this is. Sorry, Bella. I'm going to give you a hug.
Board. What would you like?
More stuff on the board.
More stuff on the board. Okay. But what would you want? What do you want to do? Do you want to do anything?
No.
Do you want to go anywhere?
No.
Well, what would you like to add to your vision board?
I want to write stuff.
But what would you like to write on it? We're trying to get there, kids.
Write Cece's name.
Cece's name. But do you want to go to the zoo?
Yes.
Would you like to go to the aquarium?
Yes.
And listen to what it is that ultimately Bella says she wants to do, guys. This is heartbreaking to me. It truly is. Do you want to go to the zoo? Do you want to go to the aquarium? Do you want to go to Disney? Shanann, with what money?
Don't kick the board. What else would you like to do? When you grow up, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Play with mommy and daddy.
Play with mommy and daddy?
What do you want to do when you grow up? What does Bella say? Play with mommy and daddy. Guys, do you want to go to Disney? Do you want to go to the zoo? Do you want to go to the aquarium with all of the money we don't have to pay for those tickets for those expensive places? Yeah, okay. Bella, what do you want to do? An open-ended question. Anything in the world. Play with mommy and daddy. Of all of the hours and hours and hours, I want to cry, of video footage that we have inside the Watts house, except for when we see Chris playing with, we see Chris playing with the girls sometimes, usually when, I don't know, whatever. But regardless, let's not say who's doing what. How much do we see Bella playing with her mommy and daddy? Almost nil. It's just so fucking sad. Open-ended question, Bella, what do you want? Play with mommy and daddy? Let's just listen to sweet Bella say that again.
Right.
What do you want to add to it? We need to add to it.
Write it again.
You want to do it again?
Yes.
Okay. But what would you like to add to your new vision board?
My what? I'm selling with it.
I know. Focus, child. Bella, look at me. Hey, focus. What do you want to add to your new vision board? What would you like?
More stuff on the board.
More stuff on the board. Okay. But what would you want? What do you want to do? Do you want to do anything?
No.
Do you want to go anywhere?
No.
Well, what would you like to add to your vision board?
I want to write stuff.
But what would you like to write on it?
We're trying to
She
get.
just wants to fucking draw and do kid activities, you know, like, and she play with mommy and daddy. This is so sad to me.
Right, Cece's name.
Cece's name. But do you want to go to the zoo?
Good night, Cece.
Would you like to go to the aquarium?
Yes.
Don't kick the board. What else would you like to do? When you grow up, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Play with mommy and daddy.
Play with mommy and daddy?
Well, she wants.
Okay, don't, Bella Marie, don't hang on my vision board.
I'll let you in on a little secret that I know from working in MLMs. They tell you that you're supposed to do 3 different kinds of posts on Facebook every day. You're supposed to do something that directly promotes the product, something that has to do with why the product makes your life better, your lifestyle, and then just something personal. And they suggest that you utilize cute things in your life because that is going to get more attention and help to work your algorithm, like cute pets and children. And I'm certainly not singling out Shanann Watts. She is not alone in this, but you know, there are so many instances that we can see on Shanann's Facebook video posts when the children are involved where for the kids, it really would have been much better if they were left out of it, or if that time were just spent focusing on being with them, being present with them, and doing what they want to do, rather than having them act a certain way for the camera. Because let's face it, you can't make 2, 3, and 4-year-olds act a certain way for the camera, but damn, people certainly can try.
Hey guys. What, baby? Say hi, Cece. Hi. Look at this monster. This is what I deal with. Like, she's a monster. Don't you jump off the couch. Oh. I'm sitting right here, Mama. She's a monster. Like, she doesn't stop. Like, seriously, this kid hasn't napped today. No, don't stay on my legs, baby. My life. I just sat down to sit with these kids. Literally, this phone has not stopped since last night's call. Like, amazing. Oh my goodness. The kid, Cece's excited. Bella, are you excited? Are you excited? You want to jump like that? Life of the party?
I'm putting phone right there.
No, I'm putting it right here.
Put it right here.
Okay, well, it's right here. Are you going to try to jump on me?
I'm sorry, this poor child, all she wants is to be with her mommy and daddy. All she wants is love and attention, and she just didn't get it. Shanann's like, Bella, are you excited? She's like, I want to jump like this. You know, I'd be excited if you play with me, Mom. You know, Bella breaks my heart. You guys know that.
Yes.
Yes?
And he right there. Phone.
Okay, phone's right there.
Okay.
The monster. She doesn't stop. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Amy. Hi, Christina. Oh my gosh. You guys have been keeping me so incredible. Hey, don't sit on your sister, please.
I want her.
Okay. Cece, stand up. Incredibly busy and truly. Whoa. You know, if you have, oh my God, that kid's just climbing up the stairs. If you guys have, Cece, sit down. Baby, I can't carry both of you. Not with the phone too. Come on, Cece. You know, we all have our struggles in life, but you got to put yourself first and make yourself better. Put that positive energy out and positive, attitude, and everything comes your way. It will fall in your lap, and I promise you, everything will be rewarding. Hey, Kevin. So I'm out of breath because of these 2,000 steps in one day. Cece's back up the stairs. See? The dog's about to go berserk. But I'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Have a great night. Talk to you soon. But I'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.
You may remember, or maybe you don't know, that Shanann Watts was featured in Thrive's featured magazine called Strive in May of 2018. So that's just about 3 months before the family annihilation of Chris Watts' family. In that magazine, there were lovely pictures of Shanann and her family together, as you can see right here. But I don't know if the girls are looking too happy in these pictures. There were a lot of photos that were taken of Bella and Celeste on that day. And in fact, the photo shoot for the photos for Shanann's appearance in Strive, Thrive by Lavelle's magazine, was the same day as the girls' pictures with the Easter Bunny, which obviously, as you can see here, they were not too happy about. As you know, you could have guessed, because year after year, we have pictures with the girls with the Easter Bunny in hysterics. The Easter Bunny just scared the crap out of these two girls. So maybe they were exhausted from the trauma of having to sit alone with the Easter Bunny, who knows, but they don't look too happy in these pictures. Now, what is this Strive magazine appearance all about anyway? Well, Strive magazine is just another of the tools that Lavelle uses to make money and to help promote their promoters so they can make money. But appearing in Strive magazine is a paid forward appearance. That's right. Promoters that want to be featured in this magazine pay a pretty penny to get their spot in the magazine and to have an article all about them that, in their minds, I think, will hopefully drive their business, will bring customers to them, therefore increasing their chances of being more successful in selling Thrive. So what does this article about Shanann Watts in Strive magazine say? It's entitled Time for a Reset. After being a caretaker for everyone else, Shanann Watts started taking care of herself, and she's never been happier. Shanann Watts worked 2 jobs, one overnight at a hospital while raising a family, and she was exhausted. My role was as a caretaker and to make people feel good, yet I was wiped out, she says. After watching a friend thrive for 14 months, Shanann decided to start her own Thrive experience. I was skeptical because I had tried other products that never worked, she says. By day 5, my husband noticed I was in a better mood, and by day 14, I woke up every morning with no bodily discomforts. I cooked homemade pancakes as I ran laundry. Shanann decided to become a promoter and hit the ground running. I was working 65 hours a week and was also taking care of my kids. 65 hours a week, she says. I rarely got any sleep, but my passion for wanting more for my kids was stronger than anything else. The article says she hit the VIP 800 and VIP. I'm sorry, I just have to say this. It's like just about, I'm going to like explode if I don't. Shanann Watts wasn't making no pancakes, honey. Bella was hard pressed to get herself a toasted bagel. 1,600 goals in the first 2 weeks and scored her iPad mini bonus within 30 days and her auto bonus within 60 days. When I started sharing, others shared too. Then everything blossomed, she says. And I got everyone I know involved because I had no hesitation sharing Thrive with people who needed it. Shanann quickly scaled to 40K, then 80K. It's amazing that my husband and I have created more memories in the last 2 years than we did in the previous 8, she says. My mood is so much better and we're having fun. Shanann's Lavelle business led her to leave both of her jobs and realize her dream of staying home with her kids and sending them to private school. I went to the Lavelle meeting in Dallas. Which my first year was to stay home while she sent her kids to private school. Let's just, be real. Let's call a spade here. And discovered that I love helping people who are single parents or want more in their life for their family, she says. What motivated Shanann more than anything was helping people improve their health. Our health often comes last. So it's amazing to help everyone thrive for free with a referral program, she says. I wake up happy, and for me to function on a level where I can get 2 kids ready without a huge fight is a big deal. I just enjoy the pure happiness of being with my family, she says. I have the patience to be cheerful, stay-at-home mom
that my kids deserve. Now, why would people pay so much money to be in that magazine? Well, at the Thrive conventions, or those so-called paid for vacations that weren't really paid for, that Lavelle held, where everyone was beating their Thrive drum and talking about, how it's going to save everyone's life, basically. The leaders of the company touted Strive magazine as being a magazine of the future that was soon to be on every grocery store, newsstand, and Barnes & Noble across the country and perhaps across the world. It was just another lie that this MLM company fed to their promoters and consultants and to Shanann Watts. And based on those promises that were made to her by that company, she made a lot of detrimental decisions that did not improve the quality of life for her and her family, but put them all at risk in a number of ways, particularly financially. And I do not think that being a part of this MLM allowed Shanann to have the quality of relationships between her and her daughters and her and her husband that she was hoping that she was going to have with this opportunity. It did quite the opposite, and there is so much evidence of that. Striking a good work-home life balance is difficult for everybody, and there are particular difficulties for people who are trying to find success at MLMs and therefore are working from home, particularly when you have young children like Shanann and your kids are around, but you're trying to work that MLM, make the algorithms work for you, do all of your IPAs in a day, post to Facebook, go live, and do all of these things that are not necessarily conducive to having children around. There is definitely a price that people who are trying to find success in MLMs pay in their personal lives. There's a price that they pay in the quality of their relationships. And I think that we see this in Shanann Watts' life. There's also clearly a real price, a monetary price that people pay for trying to find success in MLMs, and we have covered a lot of it. And there's also an area where the two intersect, where the difficulties that are caused in one's personal life when they are trying to work in MLM cross paths with the financial destruction that MLMs tend to cause. Listen to what Chris Watts' mistress, Nicole Kessinger, had to say about her perception of what happened that tragic morning, early morning hours of August 13th, 2018, when Chris Watts, perhaps with the encouragement or help of another, annihilated his family.
This is just my opinion, but I'm pretty convinced that woman and him did not get along very well. And the reason they stuck together was, hey, we're going to do kids. And I think they also stuck together because they were in a very bad financial bind. And I think that she continuously disregarded it. And I think he messed up because he was too passive to say anything to her about it and really address it. And it just got to the point where it's just like you file bankruptcy and then what do? Just wait till you file the next one? I don't know. I don't know what their finances look like now, but from the way it made it sound, it's probably a pretty stark situation. And I don't know if hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt over and over and over again are enough to lead a man to want to take somebody out, but I don't know. I've heard of people committing suicide over that shit before, and I would never justify what he did. I think it's fucking disgusting. He's such a fucking pig, but I try to be why? I try to come up with a why, and I really think that he was struggling with her really bad. And not only that, he's got a third child on the way. And I know he was probably just I can't fucking afford a third kid. Wants it, but can't afford it, And he always told me he wanted a little boy, he wanted a third child. Mm-hmm. And so I think that it was just something I think they were in a financial situation. And I think she was very non-responsive to him trying to solve problems and get out of the situations that they were in. And I think people just get complacent is what it is. And then, I think he met me and I think I was a breath of fresh air for him, where it was he could get away and just be you know what, I can be myself. I don't have to worry about money right now. And this girl, I have my shit together. My life is so very in order.
You seem very organized and independent and dialed
Always.
in
Like I do really good at work. I have like almost a perfect credit score. I can save money for a house. Like I don't mess around. I mean, I screwed up. This is like my one screw up ever, and it's about to be on like national news. But just very dialed in, and I think it was like a breath of fresh air for him to like be around something like that, because I don't think that he knew that was like a real thing. And he had told me that like numerous times. Like I didn't know like women like you like existed. I was just like, all right, like I don't. And when he meant it, it was just like the way you run your life. And so, because he got married really young, and so to answer your question, I think inevitably it was going to happen. I think it just got propelled faster. I mean, I don't understand what he would have achieved if he wanted to be with me that bad, what he would have achieved with me by doing what he did. I think his situation at home was way, way deeper than anything him and I ever had. And it led to that. And I don't know what happened in that conversation that they had, but I kind of have a feeling that it wasn't even about her pregnancy or another man or me. I have a feeling it was about money.
So drilling down, you think money for him is the biggest downfall. You guys, I mean, beyond their relationship, really, I don't know that you know too much about the relationship or the particular issues other than monetary issues, financial issues. That sounds like what you guys talked about when you talked about their relationship.
I mean, like he told me other things, like they really didn't like sleep together too much, stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of husbands and wives don't do that. But it was like, oh, of course you don't. That's why you're coming to me, no, I think I just, like me being in his life, just pushed that forward. I honestly think that there's probably a good possibility that this would have just happened, like further down the road.
So did you see that before yesterday or Tuesday, or was that just kind of something that you have reflected on and you've thought about this now going, man, now that I see that in this guy, or just because of the lifestyle he was living, and if he didn't get removed from it, this was going to happen sooner rather than later, like you said?
If I was to reflect on anything over like the past few weeks, besides like the stuff the last few days where you're like, hey, is there like any red flags? I would say like no. But one thing I did notice one time is we were sitting on my couch and I was telling him like my house, I have a really beautiful house. Like it's set up like really nice, but everything I have is like from Craigslist or Goodwill. Like I have pieced it together and it's all, or like marked down stuff. And I have pieced it together in a way like, it's pretty, huh? It's a pretty house, but
It's pretty. It's accentuated with bed bugs. My Goodwill couches and such.
would never guess that like everything I got is like super discount. And one day we were sitting on my couch and we were just like bullshitting about some stuff. And I was telling him like, oh yeah, like I got this marked down American Furniture because like the corner was dented, and like I got this one off a guy on Craigslist. And I put it all, and I was like telling him, I was like, I put it all together. And I was like, to me, it was like, material things don't make a home. I was like, it's the energy and the love that you bring to the home. I was like, it's not about what it looks like. I was like, it's about what you like bring to it, like mentally. And he like collapsed in my lap and gave me like the biggest, most genuine hug I think that man has ever given me. And he just laid there and he was just like, you were so different. And I didn't even say anything. I just like put my fingers in his hair and just let him chill there. And I assumed that had to do with the finances, but it didn't like stress me out. It was just like this relief sigh where he just like dropped into my arms. And I didn't like really think too much of that event, except for that I was like, this was like, it was like a really genuine hug, like collapsed into my lap, like just so relieved. And I didn't really think much of it until like I started reading about like their bankruptcy and all this other shit. And I was like, oh. So
you see what she just did there? I'm so awesome. Yes, Daniel, like you said, I'm such an amazing woman with my bed bug couch from Goodwill and my chip corner from American Homestead or whatever. All of this. And I'm so amazing. He just collapsed into my arms. And I was like, oh, it was just this, moment. And then because that's what he does with me, because I'm so amazing. And what does he do to Shanann with all her spending and such? He murders her. See how much better I am? I mean, I know that the topic is not Nicole Kessinger today, but I can tell by your comments in chat, you're with me. You're on my energetic level here, right? It's so fucking absurd every single time. I just can't stand it.
I think it might have been bigger than he let on because he never told me about his bankruptcy.
Sure.
You know, he just told me about his current financials and he didn't even get that in depth, but I'm assuming they're trash.
All right, guys. So I am going to wrap it up kind of straight away because, as I told you when we started out, I got a headache and it's 2.5 hours later somehow. How the hell did that happen? But thank you guys so much for being here tonight. It was great to read your comments and hear what you guys had to say. I love spending time with you guys. So we'll be doing another live stream tomorrow night around 9 o'clock, and we will get into the nitty-gritty of the financials and more details that you will only find on Watts Obsession because I researched the heck out of this topic. Chris Watts is so codependent in all of his relationships. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, C. Curry. Yeah, just a stressful week, headache, you know. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. How do we make sure we don't miss the next live? Okay, so you obviously hit the bell. YouTube tells us the trick to getting notifications is to like content of a creator. I'm not saying that you didn't. If you're not getting notifications, that's just what they tell us. Or you can email me at this address right here. I send out, I would say about 95% of the time, 95% of the time, I send out an email earlier in the day of when I have a live stream. And I already have one for tomorrow that I already wrote up. So if you want to go on that email list, I do not use your email for any other reason. Anybody that is on the list for this purpose only gets emails unless they email me personally to say, hey, there's a live stream coming up tonight. Here's the time. Here's the thumbnail picture. Here's a little bit of information, and that is it. So if you do want to get on that email list I have to give notifications of lives, just email me at wattsobsession@gmail.com. In the subject, put email list, and I'll pop you right in there, okay? Yeah. What a breath of fresh air. Daddy Kessinger must be so proud of her, Sub Rosa. You're so funny. All right, guys. All right, so I am going to take off. I do hope to see you tomorrow night. Hi, I was just reading your comment. Welcome. I hadn't seen you there. Destinina M. It seems like it was such an honor, but I read that she had to pay to be in it. So really, just like everything else in MLMs, yeah, about the Strive magazine. You betcha. And I didn't say how much it costs in that video. I'll have to look it up because I did find out how much it costs. It's a lot, but I don't want to quote you a wrong number. Yeah, it's like it's 1 a.m. here. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, guys. I hope to see you tomorrow night. If you do want to get on that email list, please email me. Thank you guys so much. Remember, life is hard, so please be good to one another. But most of all, make sure you're good to yourself because you're an amazing skanky empanada. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not Nicole Kessinger. Because you're awesome. So please do something good for yourself because I know you don't do it enough. I know you don't. So do something good for yourself, and I will see you tomorrow night, guys.